Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing the Ubermacht Cypher based on the BMW M2 produced between 2016 and 2021. It offers plentiful customization. It's very satisfactory for any of you that love to customize cars. I like to make many variants and whatnot. It's very pleasing to look at as well. There's more about this car that I want to discuss that I'll get to eventually. But as you can see, the splitters are and the bumpers and rear bumper, the front bumpers are decent. You can add a subtle wide body. It it's there, it's noticeable, but it's not much of a difference since Rockstar doesn't really like to do wide bodies that well. It's not a fault on this car, it's just Rockstar in general. As you can see, you even have diffusers. And the engine model, this is spectacular. You can do an engine swap. It's just excellent. You even see moving parts too. And the struts or fittings, you can do that as well. This is reused in quite a few other cars, but it's here nonetheless, and it still fits. So I chose a polished strut for this one. For the exhaust, they're not really close to the center like the real BMW M2 or any other BMW model, but it's not a big deal. I feel like it's still okay looking. And for the grill, you could get pretty close to the real BMW models, or you can make it horizontal like uh, the GTA Ubermacht. For this, I chose a carbon grill because I feel like it looks good. This is the closest you can get to it, to the real thing. Of course, you even have your headlight tinting. You even have hood catches, but I do not recommend the hood catches when available on these cars because you cannot open the engine. And the hood options themselves are really good, very plentiful. You have a lot of crazy options, and some that are very subtle, like the smooth grill. But for this one, I want to leave it stock this time, with the because it has like a bit of a bulge up there, as you can see, a subtle bulge for the engine. These steering wheels are seen on a few other vehicles from this era, or by around the time this car came out back in 2021 as part of the tuner update. One of the best update for cars. I'm sure most of you will agree. For the dash, you can change the texture to carbon, a suede, or a flocked. I would have gone for a suede, but I feel like the flocked looks a bit better. Of course, you could add dials if that's your thing. You can really make the door lighter if you want to do that. And some other, add-ons for the interior here. Not my cup of tea, but it all really depends on what type of build you're going for, what type of style. These seats, I'm sure most of you have seen them before on quite a few other cars. So I'll just leave it stock there. Of course, you got your typical roll cage for this. These are very well done. I'm sure if some of you know it changes the seating position so you can have a bit more visibility. The liveries here, they're very plentiful. I'm sure those of you who use liveries will be satisfied. But personally, it's not my thing. It just depends on the car, but for this one, I just want to leave them off. The texture quality is very well done. There's no low resolution. The last option is a reference to the Need for Speed BMW M3. For the mirrors, I want to do carbon. I usually do not add carbon, but for this car, I want to make it similar to the M2 competition. So I'll just add more carbon to this car. I feel like it looks really good. For the color, I wanted to do something different. Instead of using or putting on a blue, I feel like putting on a red. It just looks very nice. I usually like to add regular glossy or flat colors, but I decided to make this a metallic just to make it pop. I didn't want to play with the type of shades and the colors too much of the red. I'm sure I could make it look a bit nicer, but I just decided to settle for red for both the secondary and the primary, and then the pearlescent, and made that a red as well. But if you have time, you can really play around and just make it look even better. Of course, you can change the color, but for me, I just want to leave it like a black or a slighter, uh, lighter black color. I usually do not change the dial colors, but if that's your thing, you can do that as well. I should have changed it to a white, but when I was recording, I just didn't see the white and I was like skipping over it. So I left it at silver. The hood fins on the real life M2 are carbon, but for this one, I decided to just leave it red because I also did like a carbon roof. I should have made it all carbon, but I just wanted a bit of contrast. But maybe I'll probably change it back. For the carbon roof, it's not completely smooth. There's a bit of an indentation, but I chose to just have a regular smooth carbon hood roof. But it doesn't look too bad. The skirts, of course, you can put them. The first few options look a bit subtle. The rest are a bit crazier. I don't want anything too crazy on this, and the first options are a bit too subtle, so I didn't choose those or any of these. For the spoilers, this one was pretty interesting. You really have a lot of different ducktails and spoilers and all that. As I said, you can go for any build, a track build, a road legal build, anything. Uh, you can make it look aftermarket, whatever you want. It was a bit difficult choosing which type of ducktail I wanted for this one. Of course, I wanted it in carbon, but I wasn't sure how I wanted it. So as you can see, I just went for the carbon ducktail. It looked a bit better, a bit more subtle. Then you have your usual sun straps, or whatever they're called. Of course, when you lower this car down, it has a little bit of camber, which does bother me a bit. I wish it was separate, but it's not too low, not too high, so it's alright. I just left it stock. You can leave those. You can make those vents carbon or secondary. I wanted to make them carbon. For the wheels, I mean, this one was pretty obvious for me. I decided to go for the modern mesh. The Forged Star looked really good as well, as you can see. But there's quite a few other wheel options that just work very well, such as the Mercies, the five spokes. Those look excellent on this car. But I really wanted to do something different. Instead of making it look completely like the real life competition model M2, I just chose those. And of course, for the last option, you have your usual tints. It came stock with the limo, but I just got that changed. Detail and texture quality are both great. I'm satisfied with the engine model. The carbon texture looks really good as well. Better than most vehicles that offer carbon, in my opinion. The rest of the car is very well made. Although the interior is reused, I feel like it's not a big deal. It's alright. The rest of the car, the exterior, the overall shell design is just well done. And I'm quite satisfied with this car. Speed and handling are both great. The acceleration, however, is a bit delayed, but once you get to a higher speed, you really feel the car pulling you. That's something that I don't really find or feel in many cars in the sports category. Um, it's a very good experience, once you feel it, you know what I mean. And it takes the corners just very well. Uh, no issue there. I just overall love the experience of driving this car. I really recommend it. I just want to quickly mention that I'm approaching 200 subscribers, and I thank you guys very much. To those who are new, I like to see more of you, and as always, thanks for watching.